Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. Thanks for hanging out with me in the fish room. So today, this is kind of part 2 of the breeding for profit, showing you guys what I'm breeding. Last time we went around and I showed you guys all of the breeding pairs and breeding colonies that I had set up. So today I want to go around and actually show you guys some of the fry that I'm actually raising up from them, so you guys can kind of see. I haven't showed you guys a lot lately. I used to show you guys a ton of when I had the, when I was always doing the breeding trays with the breeding setups that or not the breeding, but the grow out trays that I had. So I can show you all the fry that we are currently dealing with. All right, in this tank, these are fry that I'm growing out. The rainbow fish that you see in here, these are Australians. You'll also see there's quite a few cribenzas in here. I've got some albinos and some regulars. Again, everything in here is stuff I've raised up from eggs. Also in here, I've got some epistogrammas. I think that's the only one I have left. I think I sold all the rest of them. And there also is some Turkana jewels in here. The Turkanas look a little bit kind of like the cribs at this age. That's the super bright red fish you guys have seen me do multiple videos on. Just a cool, beautiful fish. Over here, this is another grow out tank. These are all Gardneri. There's all sorts of different sizes and types that are in here. So currently using this tank to grow these guys out, but most of them are sexual mature already. So I went ahead and pulled a mop in here. So I figure as I'm growing them out, I might as well collect eggs at the same time. Here we have the Kamaka rainbows. These are the ones in the previous video that I told you that I have difficulty getting them up to about day 10 because they typically die because they're just not eating the golden pearls. So they're the ones that I will put in green water probably for the first month of their life, and they seem to do so much better. So these are all ones that I've raised up. So again, I went ahead and put a mop in here. I don't think these guys are sexually mature yet because I don't think I've ever seen any eggs. But these are probably ones that I'm getting ready to actually put on the website and put these guys up for sale because they're just about size. Rainbow fish typically don't ship very good when they're adults. This is about the size where they ship the best. In here we've got some yellow rainbow fish. Not very many of these in here, but these guys are too big to keep in the trays because they will begin to eat some of the other ones. All right, so over here is where we have our grow out trays. You can see we've got 3 different 20-gallon longs that we're currently using with the drip systems on them. And so up here at the top, these are Wapaga fry, the rainbow Wapagas. No, I don't want all that duckweed in there, but gosh, you know duckweed. It finds its way into absolutely everything and then explodes on you. In here, each time I go to one of these, I'm going to move the water over. That way it's easier to see what's going on. These are yellow rainbow fry. You can see there's quite a few of those guys in there. Typically all these trays, I feed them probably 3 or 4 times a day with golden pearls, and then occasionally I'll feed them with the decapsulated brine shrimp. One thing I've been really bad about lately is actually hatching out brine shrimp. That's another thing I need to get back into the habit of doing also, because it's such a fantastic food for fry. In here, these are gold Gardneri. These guys like to stay hidden, and it doesn't do any good when I move the stuff around because then you get snail waste floating everywhere. If you guys are enjoying this video, will you take a second and hit that like button? And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, be sure and hit that subscribe button so you can see all the amazing fish room tours and see all the incredible things that's going on in my fish room. All right, in here, these are the blue eyes rainbows. Again, this is the species that I'm not exactly sure which one it is. There's one kind of bigger one right there, but man, those blue eyes just absolutely pop on those guys. In here, these are the McCullough rainbows. You can see most of these guys are really tiny. Typically what I try to do is this top row here is I try to keep the smallest ones, and as they get a little bit bigger I try to transfer them down to the bottom, but that's a system that I'm not doing a very good job with yet, and there's no telling how many I'm losing to cannibalism by their older brothers and sisters, but it's something I've really got to get on. Up here we've got the Pracox dwarf rainbows in here. And then in this one, we've just got, these are just the random Gardneri that are in here growing out. Down here in these are some random guppies that I had, that some of the mothers had babies, so I went ahead and removed them and put them in here. Those are 24 karat golds. There's some half black rose ribbons in here. The reason I typically use these for the guppies, because I keep this water about 81 degrees, so the fish will grow quite a bit faster, and since I feed these all the time and I constantly have a little bit of light on them so that they can eat 24 hours a day, so the fish typically in this scenario will grow almost twice as fast as a baby when you have them in here. These are some Japanese blues. These are one that I've started working on. These are it's a albino red guppy, but it's the one that had the big blue Dumbo ears. So I had a mom that had a bunch of babies. I moved them in here. This right here, this is the kamakas that I was telling you guys about before. These are ones that I keep in the green water, and so the water is just barely dripping up there, and so every week or so I'll pour another fresh batch of green water in here, and this seems to do the trick. I don't know if you can see, there's a bunch of baby fry that are all swimming around right there in the front. Over here we've got some millennium rainbow fish growing out in there. You'll notice in all my containers you'll always see two things for sure. You'll see a few snails, sometimes a million, but it starts out as just a few snails. That's to clean up the waste and to clean up the extra food that I end up feeding them, so I don't worry about overfeeding them. And then the other thing that you'll see in there is I've always got a clump of Java moss. So the Java moss is going to act as a biological filter. So for instance, if this thing stops dripping at some point and it's not getting, you know, water that's being circulated out, it'll still be fine because there's so much bacteria that's built up on that that Java moss, and that also gives them a place to hide to feel safe also. In here, these are some more Pracox. These guys are a little bit bigger, so they're ones that I've actually moved down here to keep them from preying on their siblings. And then over here, another rainbow fish is the Blairi. You can see a bunch of small fry of those guys also swimming around in there. So one of the main reasons I really don't show you guys the guppies and how I'm doing those, or the inlers, because I typically just let these guys colony breed, and so they pretty much always stay in the same tank. There are a few of them that'll tend to pick off their fry. I might move those guys, but for the most part I just let these guys colony breed, and it seems to work a whole lot better, because these guys were, you know, just 2 or 3 trios that I got like 6 months ago. And I've probably moved 150 or so already up to the fish room at work, and you can see there's still just a million babies that are in there. All right, there you go, guys. Gosh, start that again. All right, there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the fry that we've got going on in the fish room. You guys got any questions or comments, be sure and leave them down below. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.